Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the books that I hope to read in the month of February. The mood that I'm channeling is follow the mood, listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to what your heart wants to do, and just read whatever you want to read. I channeled that energy in January and that seemed to work out quite well for me, not feeling so pressurized and not having such a strict schedule to follow. I feel like I've enjoyed quite a lot of what I did end up reading in January, so I'm going to try and bring that energy through into February. I do have some ideas of things, but I'm definitely not going to berate myself if I don't get to any of these, if I just mood read completely, because that is the energy that I'm bringing into my reading. Personally, 2023 has been a horrible year, and it's a year that seems to I get hit down, and then before I even have a chance to get back up again, I'm getting hit back down again, and then you try to return to normality and life continues to keep hitting you down. I'm really trying to listen to myself and be kind to myself. I am trying to be kind to myself because life is not being kind to me right now, so I have to be kind to myself somehow or other. Reading and trying to stay positive. There are quite a few readathons going on in February, or lots of things that are starting that I'm really interested to join in with and be part of the buddy read and be in with everybody else. Those are part of my ideas for the month. I am currently reading The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. I am about 200 pages in as of filming this. I do not anticipate that I will finish this in January because it's currently the 29th of the month, so I don't think I will read all 300 pages of this in the next few days. So I expect this will be what I start February on, but I'm really loving this, really thoroughly enjoying this. I didn't mean to pick this up when I did. I was going to an event at Waterstones and Tasha Suri was going to be there. Unfortunately she was ill, so I didn't actually get to meet Tasha Suri, but I had the books with me and I was currently reading a different book, and I was like, I can't bring this other book with me because that means I'm carrying 4 books into London so I thought I'd just carry 3 and I could start this one. Started it, read the first couple of chapters and I was like, I'm really enjoying this. And then I was like, no, Abby, don't do it. Finish what you're currently reading. So I finished what I was currently reading, and then I was like, all I can think about is going back to reading this. So that's what I did. I'm still trying to get my head around the world and everything that's going on here. But we're following 2 main characters, Priya and Malini. Malini is a princess that has been condemned to be in this prison-like tower by her brother, who is the ruler of this world, and Priya is her maidservant. And there's just the magic system seems really interesting. This where people are where there's this thing called the rot, and people are turning into not quite trees, but they're getting leaves growing out of them. So I'm just very, very intrigued. I'm very, very intrigued right now. I'm really enjoying this. And then the couple of book club reads that are happening this month that I want to join in. The first one being For the First Law and the Blade Itself by Jo Abercrombie. This has been on many a TBR last year, and now going into this year, hopefully this will be the final time it goes on to TBR and I actually read it this time. So this is the first book in the First Law universe, which is a grimdark fantasy series, and I believe that this one is quite character focused. I know that one of our characters is named Glockter, and I think he's a cripple turned torturer. We have Logan as well. I haven't looked too much into this, but I've heard amazing things. Everyone raves about Jo Abercrombie and how he is Lord Grimdark. I should hopefully love this. I really hope I should love this. I do think I'm more of a character driven reader, so hopefully I would say connect with these characters, but I don't know if I really want to be connecting with the torturer. But hopefully I enjoy reading about these characters so much so that I will enjoy it, and then I believe the plot comes in as the series goes on. So I do own the whole trilogy, so I am ready to read and hopefully love this. And that's being read by the Catch Up Book Club. The other series that I want to start is part of Becca's Patreon, and for that we are reading Blood Grace, which is the first book in the Blood Mercy series. And I did start this in November, and then I just got distracted and I need to get back to it because I was really enjoying it. So this is a fantasy romance, which the bit that I read, it was very political as well as the romance, which seemed to be between a human and a vampire-like figure. I'm really interested in the lore that we're going to explore in this, and the politics sounds so interesting with the main character's father is the king, but he's just happy to kill anyone and everything. So she's scared for her life the whole time. Then me and Stephanie from Stephanie's Bookverse have said that we would like to buddy read The Blood Trials by Annie Davenport. This is another one of the series that I want to start in the first half of 2023, so it makes sense. And when Stephanie messaged to buddy read it, I was like, yeah, why not? Definitely. So this is a duology with the second book coming out in April, and I think this is a sort of fantasy sci-fi. We're following the main character Ikenna, and her grandfather has been murdered or is dead now, and she enters these series of trials to try and find out who killed him. And I think she also has some powers which are banned within this world. I have heard people say that this is good for people that enjoy Red Rising, which does give me a little bit of hesitancy because I wasn't a massive fan of Red Rising. I did read Red Rising like many years ago now, so hopefully I still would like this. Fingers crossed, because there's lots of elements within Red Rising that I should have liked. I just didn't connect with the writing style. Hopefully I like this one more. Another buddy read is with Sam and Fish. So we started the Side Changing series in January, so plans are to continue with that. We all enjoyed that first book, Safe to Sensation in the Side Changing World. I think a lot of us, I think I gave it like a 3.5 stars, so it wasn't an all-time favourite, but I found it very compulsively readable and bingeable, and I'm really interested by like the world. I think it was like a good setup book for the series, but I'm really intrigued by where it's going to go, especially knowing that there's like 15 or something books in the series, and knowing that each book sort of follows a different protagonist, but there's still like overarching themes or like world building that goes on between each of the books that progress like the macro plot of it all. So I am very much intrigued to keep going with that. So we will be continuing our buddy read of the Side Changing series into February. And now we're sort of into like ideas of things that I might read. Like those are the ones, are ones that I've already started, or ones where I'm trying to commit to a buddy read, whereas the next few are just sort of ideas and maybe some like mood reads that are currently calling to me right now. Maybe they won't be calling to me in a week's time, who knows, but they're just ideas of things. They're ideas. And so I didn't get to the Forgetting Moon in January, and I am still really interested in rereading this and continuing on with this series now that the third book is out. So potentially getting to this. It is a real thick one, but it would be a reread and I would be able to listen to it as an audiobook. This one, I just haven't been in the mood for like epic fantasy. I know I'm reading The Jasmine Throne right now, but that's only 500 pages, which is a lot less intimidating than like a 700-800 page book. And I've already got the first law, The Blade Itself, on this TBR. I don't know, I haven't been quite in the mood for this. The mood hasn't struck me. My mood has been a little bit all over the place. I've definitely been reading, but my mood has been a little bit weird. So I've just been literally going to the bookshelf, staring at the books and like picking out the book that I want to read and just rolling with that energy. So, and this one hasn't had that calling yet. And then some of the ones that I have almost picked when I've been doing my let's stare at the bookshelf and see what speaks to me have been these 3 books. They're all quite different vibes, but they have all been calling to me. The first one of these being Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. This was released back in December. I think this is more of a love story as opposed to a fantasy. Yeah, so I believe this is a love story following 2 people called Aldo and Reagan, and I think this will have quite a more poetic and philosophical writing style, so it might be a little bit denser than potentially the other romance that I have on this list, which is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. But I don't know, I just feel like these are both calling to me. As a break from fantasy. So potentially either of these is like a romance choice. I feel as though they both might be a little bit heavier as romances go, not super light ones. I believe this one is a second chance romance between Eva and Shane, who met 15 years ago and spent 1 week together madly in love, and now they've reunited at a literary event in New York. So I'm intrigued by both, and they're both sort of calling to me as a way to change up from the fantasy. And then another fantasy that is calling to me is Dreamer's Pool by Juliette Marillier. I don't know, I'm just feeling like it's time to read some more Juliette Marillier again. I read the Daughter of the Forest and the Seven Waters trilogy last year. I haven't yet continued on, there is like a continuation trilogy of that series, but I don't own any of those, but I do own the first book in this other trilogy by her, which is set in the same world, I believe. I don't know, I've just been feeling like it's time for some more Juliette Marillier again. This book has been calling to me. It's been calling. So potentially this one as well. So there are some ideas, some ideas of some books that I might pick up in February. And again, embracing the mood reading, embracing whatever comes to me. I definitely did not really stick to my January TBR. I read a few things from it, but definitely not everything. I went a little bit rogue. I feel like that, continuing with that energy as we move into February, with this pile of possibilities, but who knows, maybe the rest of my TBR ends up being a pile of possibilities. I have realised that I haven't been very good with continuing any series in this first bit of the year. I've just been starting series, but maybe eventually I will finish some series. I do still want to read The Lost Metal, but it's not in my library yet, so that hasn't happened. Let me know what you plan to read in February, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!